Am I the a-hole for cooking chicken when my Hindu roommate asked me not to? I, 18 female, atheist spiritualist, and my roommate, 21 female, pure veg, Hindu, Rajput, have been roommates since April 2025. We live in a hospital provided by our medical university. The hospital also supplies a common kitchen for the entire floor. Now, recently I bought an induction stove for myself to be using with my own money because the hassle of carrying utensils and cooking materials was way too much for me to bear. I also suffer from an eating disorder, so cooking for myself was already a difficult task, and buying an induction made it much more of an easy, approachable concept for me. Respect. I mean, I'm glad that you were able to do something that made it easier for you, because eating disorders are plaguing this nation. They have for a long time, and sometimes they're not talked about enough. So I do just got to say, OP, it's mad respect for being able to say something like that, just out in the open. And now I've also had experience of my materials being stolen in our common kitchen, and once the stoves in the kitchen short-circuited while I was cooking food. Ooh, this sounds like bad situations. I wouldn't want to cook there. I'd feel really uncomfortable, especially if your stuff got stolen. Come on, it's a community space. Don't be lame. But they're kids. Kids will be kids. I know. 18 is technically, they're still kids. You know it. We know it. They're still kids. After buying the induction oven, things were fine. She and I and our other roommates used the induction for cooking actual meals, and I'd also quickly make meals while studying and finish them in such a short amount of time. I've never cooked beef in our room out of respect for her religion, I might add. That's really cool of you. I mean, I do feel like that's kind of a no-brainer. You're going to respect your roommate's religion enough to not cook something that they value. Hopefully, right? She also placed one of the statues of her gods near my bed and demands I sleep in a certain way. My legs not pointed towards it out of respect. It's still manageable, so I do it. That's tough. Ugh. Maybe they should have just had if possible, somebody with a similar religion, room with them, because you're asking a lot of somebody. I suffer from restless leg syndrome and other things, so I'm constantly tossing and turning. If I woke up in the middle of the night to somebody staring over me being like, "You're pointing in the wrong way, turn around, my religion," dude, I'd be like, "Nah, get out. I want to respect your religion, but you got to work with me here." But recently, she had a nightmare and immediately called her mom about it. And then her mom asked what we had cooked in our room, and I replied with chicken biryani. And her mother got upset and scolded her for allowing this to happen. Oh my God, that's tough. I'll also add she never had an issue with us eating chicken until this. But she did nag a bit about keeping the chicken and the egg away from her temple and utensils and items. It's her stuff, so we do it. It sounds like it's pretty easy to respect. There's nothing wrong with that. She then brought it up with me, and I downright refused to do so because, after all, I did buy the induction stove for myself and for me to cook, so she has no right to dictate what I eat and what I shouldn't eat. And then she got upset and told me to cook in the kitchen, and I countered it by saying I only bought it so I didn't have to cook in the kitchen. She now refuses to talk to me until I apologize, but there's no way I'll do it because I bought it for myself and I don't want to walk on glass shards around her. It's your religion. It's about controlling yourself, not about controlling me. So if you have an issue, deal with it yourself and don't try to dictate me. I'll also add that our third roommate is Christian and eats chicken. Am I the a-hole for saying this? Should I apologize? I'm going to go out on a limb here and say that you are not the a-hole because she had a nightmare and her mom is connecting it to the chicken you cooked. This feels like a really difficult situation. On one hand, you want to respect everybody and give them the time, but on the other hand, you have an eating disorder and you really need to just be able to eat what you can. You've already not cooked beef and made it a respectful place. I'm not going to say you're the a-hole, but I do think if there was something in her religion and something that's truly bothering her enough to where she's having nightmares about it, on a fundamental level, you should want to do something about that. I'm not saying that you need to, but you should be thinking about your roommates who you're going to be having to spend a lot of time with. These college roommate situations, you're sharing a room for sometimes multiple years at a time. Definitely sounds like you kind of need to switch it up. You need to get different roommates. I don't know how hard that is. I did not go to college. But it's not okay to be dictated what to eat. It's not okay to have somebody else's religion shoved down your throat and you have to just adhere to all of their religion. It's not fair to you. And if that's something that they genuinely want to put stipulations on and govern people about, she needs to get her own place. She can't share rooms and tell people what to do. That's not how it works. It is a communal space at every point that everybody has to agree on. And if 2 people out of 3 want to eat chicken, they're eating chicken. You can't do anything about it. I don't think you're the a-hole. I think you did what you could and you were pretty respectful about it. I absolutely think this person's being unreasonable, but I would love for the people in the comments to tell me What about the Hindu religion means they can't eat chicken? Okay, I did a little bit of research, and it seems that many Hindus don't really eat chicken, but it's based on the principles of something called ahimsa, nonviolence, or the desire to avoid bad karma and not eat heavy, impure foods that hinder spiritual growth. And I can definitely respect that, but you're not having to eat it. You're just around it. A very tough one. Let's read some comments. One commenter says, not the a-hole, she could buy her own induction stovetop if she wants. Also, it's insane that she put a statue next to your bed and makes you sleep a certain way. You should have shut that down the second she did it. Exactly. She is not really making it a conducive place to live. She's making it a little bit tough, a little bit combative, because you're having to do and live your life by a religion that you don't even prescribe to. That's not okay. Not the a-hole. Let me know what you guys think. Make sure to follow and subscribe.